Buenos dias, conocedores todo e bienvenidos. Karamihan sa mga taong bumibisita sa lungsod ng Zamboanga ay dumidiretso sa iconic na Fort Pilar o kaya kumuha ng ilang selfies sa magandang City Hall namin. But very few people know that right between these two landmarks lies a quiet hidden corner of history. Just a block away, tucked behind a stretch of buildings, is something that's often missed, the Petit Barracks. Let's take a walk into Zamboanga's forgotten past. We explore the places that hold our history. Join me today in Zamboanga City, a cultural crossroads where Chavacano charm meets the silent strength of our built heritage. Let's take a look into Zamboanga's forgotten past and historical landmark. Before we head there, I want to show you something interesting. These long, dramatic lines of agave plants in front of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This area played a role in more recent history too. The Zamboanga siege in 2013 happened not too far from here. The primary cause was the long-standing conflict between the Philippine government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, seeking autonomy or independence for Mindanao. But here's a chismis. Ayon sa sabi-sabi, ang sangay ng Bangko Sentral na ito ay ang naging target ng paglusob sa Zamboanga. Balak ng mga rebelde na luupan ang bangkong ito. Pero sa kabutihang palad, hindi iyon nangyari. Gayunpaman, nagdulot ito ng matinding pinsala sa lungsod. Behind this temporary barricade is the construction site of a new water pumping station here in the city. In the recent years, Pueblo is being flooded during the rainy season, which is quite unusual. It never happened in the past. This could only be the cause of corrupt local officials of the previous administration. We are now leaving the vicinity of Fort Pilar and we will be proceeding to Petit Barracks. It is about 5 minutes walk. This colonial style building is of the Department of Budget and Management. Now, let's take a short turn around the corner. Straight ahead is Rizal Park. That's where we are going. Here we are on Rizal Street now. This entire street is actually the starting point of something most Zamboangueños pass by daily without noticing. This entire stretch is the Pettit Barracks. This historical area is lined in an acacia lane section of the city. It is like walking through the old neighborhood of Zamboanga. Originally built during the Spanish colonial period and later expanded by the Americans, this was once a key military post. It's hard to imagine now, but this whole area used to be filled with soldiers, military drills, and administrative buildings. Today, it's mostly government offices, but a few things remain, like this art. This was once the main gate. This is the building of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, BIR. What I like about the Petit Barracks is it has a similar vibe as Dumaguete. Many of the government offices here are designed with Spanish architecture or American colonial design. Look at the architecture of the city's Silver Register building. The building reflects the colonial design, high ceilings, wide windows, thick walls. It reminds me of the Albatangas or even Vigan, but here in Zamboanga, it's hidden and barely recognized. And there's something unique here, the influence of local culture in the details. That fusion makes it very Zamboangueño. These giant acacias, they've been here for many centuries, providing shade then, just like now. If you stay quiet for a moment, you'll hear the birds. It's peaceful. It gives you that feeling of stepping into the past. Back in the American period, the way buildings look in Zamboanga started to change. Public buildings showed the classic American style with big columns and neat symmetrical designs made from concrete. For houses, the American bungalow style became popular. Think wide windows, open verandas, and raised floors to keep things cool. But even with all of these changes, some of the old Spanish style bahay na bato still stuck around. So the city ended up with a cool mix of American and Filipino styles that's pretty unique. I truly love this walk over here. Whenever I go to Fort Pilar or Pueblo, I prefer walking here and it's more pleasant than the main road. It is Saturday afternoon and look how clean the environment is and the ambience is very relaxed. I love afternoons like this, quiet, reflective, and in places like these, your imagination just trips. It's a very calming provincial life. You think about what life was like here during the Spanish era, the American occupation, even wartime Zamboanga. The buildings, the trees, the silence, they all hold stories. I really hope that the city government will also develop this place to become an attraction. I think that this place has its own character. So this makes me think, why isn't this place developed as a heritage tourism site? Imagine bike rentals on weekends, like in Burnham Park in Baguio, or maybe night market here, just like in Harrison Road. Cultural performances, food stall, history tours, it could be beautiful. If you have the chance to come to Zamboanga, I would encourage you to have a walk over here at the Petit Barracks as well. Today, traces of the barracks remain through the acacia trees, street patterns, and certain structures integrated into modern institutions, such as this building, which is the training center of the Philippine National Red Cross. In front of it is Oficina de Salud de la Ciudad, or the City Health Office. Did you know Petit Barracks was named after Colonel James S. Pettit, a U.S. military officer assigned to the Philippines during the early 1900s? It served as a headquarters of the U.S. military in Mindanao, especially during the administration of the Moro province. American generals, including John J. Pershing, live and work here. Military parades march through what are now government buildings. Zamboanga has all these pieces of history. We just need to piece them together. As we move forward, I hope Petit Barracks becomes more than just a place to file paperwork. It could be a center of culture, heritage, and peace, a place of reflection, storytelling, and connecting with our past. And talking of heritage, in the next video, we're diving deep into the Zamboanga City Hall, its architecture, stories, and significance. If you enjoyed this walk to Zamboanga's hidden past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's next. And comment below. Have you ever visited Petit Barracks? What would you like to see here in the future? Even the BPI building has stories to tell. It's one of the oldest in the area. It is believed to be the oldest standing bank building in Mindanao. It also serves as General Pershing's residence, adding another layer of military and economic history to the district. BPI has preserved parts of the history with a small museum inside. Visitors can see turn of the century furniture, bank records, and coins, offering a tangible link to Zamboanga's role in the national development. Together, the Bangko Sentral, BPI, and the remaining parts of the Petit Barracks form a rich cultural zone ripe for heritage tourism. Just like the Intramuros in Manila, this area has potential to become a heritage attraction showcasing Mindanao's layers colonial past. With investment in signage, guided tours, and museum enhancement, with community engagement, Zamboanga could present a unique offering, a walkable history core that blends civic life with memory and identity. In Zamboanga City, history isn't hidden, it's just waiting to be rediscovered. From old barracks turned government offices to banks with stories older than most cities in the region, this city offers travelers more than just scenery. It's offering substance. Next time you walk past a busy office or bank, look again. You might just be stepping on history. See you to the next one. Hasta luego.